Get ready for the morning rush.
Quick wrap of your news and weather. We'll start with Kristen Curry.
Yeah, we'll begin with our next big weather maker up to the north today, but still close enough to allow some storms and showers to fire up, really hugging the higher terrain of northern and western New Mexico. Coverage a little bit more isolated than yesterday here in the metro. We'll go spot storms for the later part of today. Crystal?
And as you get ready to head out the door, we're following the day's top local stories. We start with Catherine Mazzone.
Crystal, ART's construction team is set to meet with locals today. The Water Utility Authority, along with a couple of city councilors, are scheduled to host members of the team to discuss the project. It's mainly for businesses affected by the Albuquerque Water Utilities construction on Central ahead of ART. That's between Coors and Sunset Road. More information and meeting details coming up in the 5 Facts. Crystal?
On to an update now. This morning, police are looking for the shooter in a double murder in the South Valley. The Sheriff's Department responded to the area of Coors and Gun Club around 11 o'clock Monday night. They found a man and a woman dead at the scene. Investigators believe it started over an argument.
New this morning, a shakeup in the Donald Trump campaign. The Republican presidential candidates bringing in Breitbart News' Stephen Bannon as CEO and promoting pollster Kellyanne Conway to campaign manager. Trump says he's known them both for a long time and that his campaign needs to win. Paul Manafort will stay on as campaign chairman. Sarah?
VP candidate Mike Pence announced his approval of Governor Susana Martinez while making a stop here in Albuquerque. This after tumultuous relationship between Donald Trump and Martinez. In May, Trump slammed Martinez's performance as governor, but backed off days later, saying he wanted her endorsement. Pence touched on a number of topics from Hillary Clinton's record as Secretary of State, border security, and recent police shootings. Today, Pence heads to Nevada. Crystal?
The Navajo Nation is moving forward with its lawsuit against the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency over the massive Gold King mine waste spill. The spill contaminated rivers in 3 western states, including New Mexico. Navajo President Russell Begay says the EPA has failed to compensate Navajos for their losses or provide any meaningful recovery efforts.
Also new this morning, PNM says it could lay off 200 to 300 employees if state regulators adopt a recommended rate increase, one that's drastically lower than what PNM is requesting. That's according to the Albuquerque Journal. Under PRC's recommendation, PNM customers would see their bills increase by 6.4% rather than 14.4% that PNM wants. PRC plans to make its decision next week.
This morning, fire crews in California are still trying to get the upper hand on the massive Blue Cut fire. That wildfire has chased more than 82,000 people from their homes. The Blue Cut fire ignited Tuesday morning in San Bernardino County. It has since burned 4,000 acres and is now 35% contained. Governor Jerry Brown has declared a state of emergency.
The death toll from flooding in Louisiana now rises to 11. Authorities in Baton Rouge are searching homes and cars, checking for bodies, and homeowners are dealing with the damage to their homes and personal belongings. More than 30,000 people have been rescued and more than 11,000 people are staying in makeshift shelters today. On to this now. ESPN Radio is hoping that it will get some expensive equipment back after it was stolen by thieves. The general manager for ESPN's 101.7 The Team says the radio station's van was burglarized last week while it was parked outside a storage unit on San Mateo near McLeod. Thieves got away with thousands of dollars worth of equipment that's needed to broadcast high school football games. Kristen?
Metro Threat Index for today added 3 with those spot storm chances we have in the forecast later this afternoon. We could be looking at the threat of heavy rain as well as the gusty winds, which we had yesterday, and of course the lightning. It is going to be an afternoon evening event, but still the coverage is still going to be pretty hit and miss as we get into the later part of today. I do expect this to climb as we get into the weekend. Adam?
A new delay for the trial of a man accused of killing a woman in New Mexico 2 years ago. Tammy Cessna was found dead in Moriarty back in January 2014. Investigators say she was killed by Mark Chavez, who lived and worked at the Super 8 where Cessna's van and body were found. On Monday, a Torrance County judge agreed to postpone his murder trial a 4th time. Chavez's new trial date for Cessna's murder is expected to come in January.
The man convicted in the case of the beating death of his stepson is facing more time in prison this morning. Yesterday, Stephen Casals was sentenced to another 10 years for federal gun charges in a separate case. He was already serving a 39-year sentence for reckless child abuse resulting in death. A jury found that he was not responsible for Omari Varela's death, but did nothing to stop it.
Let's get a look at the traffic situation as you get ready to get out the door. About 8 minutes to the hour here. No major incidents to report across the metro. Everything looking pretty green there on the major roadways. We'll keep you posted if anything comes up here on KRQE this morning and on the news app.
On to developing news this morning. A nonprofit has more funds thanks to a 77-year-old Santa Fe man who biked across the country while raising money. Reverend Duncan Lanham took off on his journey to Atlanta back in July. It was to raise awareness for many mothers. He was able to raise nearly $1,800 for that nonprofit. If you would like to donate, go to our website, krqe.com. Fernanda?
As you head out the door this morning, there's a new place to pick up that morning cup of joe. This new Dunkin' Donuts location is at Wantabo and Manal Boulevard. It opened at 6 this morning, and the first 100 people in line here got free cup of coffee for a full year. Now, this is the first full-service Dunkin' Donuts location to open since 1983. There are plans to open 10 more locations in the Albuquerque area in the next 4 years. Crystal?
A local Taekwondo athlete is getting ready to head to the Olympic Training Center. 17-year-old Abby Aldrich of Bates Taekwondo in Albuquerque qualified for team trials after placing in the top 8 at Nationals back in July. If she wins a spot on the team, she will be the first female from New Mexico to do so. Good luck to her this morning.
Pretty cool. All right, time now for the 5 facts.
Number 5 this morning, makers of a local craft beer are getting ready to bring their brew to University Stadium this year. The Chama River Brewing Craft Corner is being built just west of where the team enters. You can grab a Chama River brew and food for $40 a person.
That's not bad. Pretty cool, though.
Right there on the field.
Yeah, number 4 now. John Bones Jones could be heading back into the octagon sooner than many had thought. Jones is still on a temporary suspension for doping allegations this morning, but recently UFC President Dana White made a comment that Jones may not have taken at least one of the banned drugs he tested positive for. However, White did say Jones did make a mistake in not telling the organization about all of the supplements he had taken. We will continue following the story for you and let you know how it turns out.
At number 3, temperature's still a little cool out there. If you haven't left yet, grab the light jacket. I do expect us to be in the low 80s around noontime, topping out near 88 degrees today. A lot of sunshine to start, but more cloud cover will fill in by late day. And a few spot storms possible here in the metro, although better rain chances will lie to the north and west of us in the higher terrain.
Number 2, today the city water utility along with a couple of city councilors are planning to host a public forum over the controversial ART project. The water utility started work back in May, and they're currently working to replace and relocate water lines ahead of that big project. The meeting is scheduled for 9 this morning in the community room of the Central and Unser Library at 8081 Central Avenue Northwest. If you want details, go to our website, krqe.com.
Number 1 now, the governor is now ordering all flags be flown at half-staff in honor of fallen Hatch police officer Jose Chavez. Police officer Chavez was shot and killed during a traffic stop last week by Jesse Haynes, a man fleeing murder charges out of Ohio. This morning, Haynes is facing federal charges for the officer's death. Support for the fallen officer continues to grow. The NMSU football team and law enforcement will hold a charity flag football game this weekend and give proceeds to the Officers Memorial Fund. Officer Chavez was an NMSU student, so this really hits home for that university.
Absolutely. Quick check on that 7-day forecast. If you missed out on the storm chances today, the good news is we have a little bit more on the way for tomorrow. We'll take a break on Friday, bringing back with the cold front moving in for the later half of the work week and into the weekend. Our temperatures will pretty much stay in the mid to upper 80s for as far as we can see.
We hope you'll stay with us for KRQE this morning. Coming up after the break on Fox New Mexico, we've got ABQ 365 and they're going to talk about plans for the upcoming weekend. So if you haven't made any already, we got your full list.
Including Chihuahua races.
Oh, really?
Does that sound like fun? Yeah, apparently
I like
is.
it.
You don't want to miss the details on that coming up in just a few minutes on Fox New Mexico. We'll see you on the other side.